Justin Langer is the coach of the Australian cricket team. He's been kind enough to join us. Have you stopped celebrating yet, JL? Congratulations.
Thankfully, the boys have all gone home, Goss. So I'm still in Hobart. I can't get back to Perth. So, but yeah, it was a great celebration, a wonderful Ashes series, and everyone's very excited.
Yeah, very much so. So they have gone to bed, have they? I saw that vision.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I shouldn't. Well, I can laugh because it's one of the most overcooked things I've ever seen, JL. When you saw it and you've seen the fallout from that, can you just put a spin on it from the Australian perspective, a coach's perspective?
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the fallout from it. All I know that is if you can't celebrate after winning an Ashes, then when can the boys celebrate? So it's been a hectic campaign, and for some of them it's been a hectic 4 or 5 months with the World Cup as well. So it was very, very innocent and happy fun. So, yeah, hopefully there's not too much stress about it.
No, I don't think there will be. To be honest, there's been some comical stuff written on social media about it. I will say that Joe Root never looked happier. That was about the happiest I've seen Joe Root, having a beer, sitting there, still in his gear. The series was over. Have you got any feeling for them and James Anderson and Chris Silverwood and Graham Thorpe? Have you got any emotion towards them of how tough it has been, that whole series?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's really interesting, Goss, because at the start of the series, I spoke to John Buchanan on a podcast, and I said what usually I think Alistair Cook might have said this a couple of years ago. Whoever loses the Ashes, at the end of it, the whole system's going to be broken and people will get fired and and that just seems to be what happens after an Ashes series. So, and I said at the time, I dare anyone to make the prediction now that the systems are all broken. So when you're in the shoes, when you're not winning, there's certainly a lot of pressure on it. We've been through that before. But, in the end of the day, it was 11 players versus 11 players having a red-hot dip at trying to win a game of cricket. So, it's tough on them, but it's much nicer to be in the winner's seat, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do you sit down and have a nice glass of red and smoke a cigar knowing that you've won the T20 World Cup and the Ashes, you win it 4-0, you dominate England here, and you're in contract talks? Are you feeling pretty good about yourself, or are you a little bit edgy still about where your future lies?
No, never edgy. Whatever happens, Goss. Yeah, but you and I spoke about this before we left. I can't. Before the World Cup and before this Ashes, we've never ever been better prepared. So it's not a coincidence. I don't think we've had the success we've had, and whatever happens from now on, we can all be incredibly proud of this little period. That we had 2 missions to win the World Cup and to win the Ashes. To do that in such a short period is a monumental effort, and we're all really satisfied with that. We're all really happy about it. We're really, really proud of that. So, I sit here at the moment feeling really content with the last 2 series.
No doubt about that. The positives out of it, obviously, some great form with the ball, the continued development of Cam Green, Usman Khawaja coming back in, Travis Head being man of the series. There was just so much to like about what you did. Pat Cummins' leadership, and even to the point that I did see him shut down a request, and it was a request by Nathan Lyon to sing the Aussie team song out in the open during the celebration. He said, no, that's something we do privately. His leadership goes beyond the boundary?
Oh, he's excellent. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's a lot of discussion for some time, for the last year and a half or 2 years, about whether Pat Cummins could be the captain of the Australian cricket team, mainly because he's a fast bowler. And I remember saying back then that, Imran Khan's now the president or Prime Minister of Pakistan. He was a fast bowler, so there's absolutely no reason why a fast bowler couldn't do it. Pat's outstanding young man. He's obviously a superstar on the field, but he's a terrific bloke. He's a fantastic leader off the field as well. So he's been great. It's a pleasure to work with him. And the one thing I'll say is that the thing that's made me most proud of this series is just how calm everyone stayed, because Pat, if we remember, first we lost our first captain, Tim Paine, before the series started. A few days before the series started, and then Pat Cummins missed the second test, and boys still are able to step up and get the job done. So yeah, he is a great leader, and we've got plenty of other great leaders there to help him out.
One heavy question in regards, and I want to then lighten things up a little bit in regards to where to now for the Australian team ahead of the New Zealand series, is have you had contact post-series with Tim Paine, and how's he doing? Can you share that with our listeners?
Yeah, I'm seeing him in the morning, actually. He's been away with his family for the last week or so during the test match, and he and I are having catching up for breakfast in the morning, so I'm still in Hobart. Really looking forward to seeing him. I'm sure it's been really on the way. It was probably a bit bittersweet for Paine. He was a huge part of the preparations for this series. He was so focused on winning the Ashes. So to see the boys do what they did, I'm sure he's incredibly proud of that, but he obviously would have loved to have been a part of it. The
re-injection of some of your test players now into the Big Bash series as we close in on the finals. There's a triple header today. It was raised on the coverage the other night. Corbin Middlemas, Gilly and Roy Simons were talking about the final of the Big Bash just being 2 days out before the first ODI against New Zealand. Joe, can you shed any light on whether the Australian players who are in your ODI setup will be able to play into the Big Bash final and probably talk about someone like a Mitch Marsh and the like?
Depends if they celebrate like our guys celebrated after the Ashes. I mean, that's one way to look at it. But no, look, at this stage, they're all available to play in that one day, the first one day or so. It'll be huge for the boys to be back playing Big Bash. So they're all excited about that. It's a great competition. But yeah, they love playing for Australia as well. So yeah, they'll be back for that first game.
So they can play Big Bash final and then 2 days later play in the ODI. Is that's sort of where I'm going to?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's like at this very point. That's definitely the plan. Yes.
What are you expecting from New Zealand? A lot of their big names are not coming. I mean, where does this series fit in? This white ball series with New Zealand, with Australia. Very hard to maintain the rage after what you've achieved over the last couple of months.
Yeah, it is. And, well, in a sense, I mean, the reality of the world we live in is that this future tours program, so there's more cricket to be played. New Zealand, look, they're always incredibly competitive. They're incredibly proud. And, you know, they'll come out and play some really tough cricket against us. So we've got 3 one-days against New Zealand, and then we've got 5 T20s against Sri Lanka before we go to Pakistan. So, again, it's just indicative of how heavy the schedule is. It's going to be really exciting to go to Pakistan after 20-odd years of not being to that country. So there's lots of cricket coming up.
Yeah, in regards to the Pakistan tour, I mean, obviously Todd Greenberg has spoken today in regards to the players are keen to get back out there and all the protocols being taken place. Are you excited? And to win overseas and in the subcontinent is tough business. It's they're tough wickets to play on. It's a very different style of cricket, and of course the way the country is operating. Are you champing at the bit to get over there and do your thing?
Oh, it's the next challenge, I think. Goss, we've done some extraordinary things the last few months, but we've also talked about, and we haven't played much Test cricket over the last couple of years because of the COVID situation. Our next big challenge is to start winning overseas now, and we're all aware of that. We've got a really good team. Like you said, so many guys have stepped up this summer, and it's so exciting to watch. It's been an incredible brand of cricket. So we're excited about our next big challenge of winning more Test matches overseas.
Really, last couple of quick ones. Scott Boland, does he fire up away from the scenes? Does he actually break out of a sweat and get excited? And does he get vocal, or is he still very much the quiet achiever?
What about his humility? It's just golden, isn't it? I've loved... When I was growing up, Goss, I wanted to play. I loved cricket because of the heroes. You know, whether for me it was the Chappell brothers or Alan Border or Dennis Lilly or Rod Marsh, and then it went all the way through Kim Hughes. That's why I wanted to play cricket. And then I was seeing this summer guys like Scotty Boland, humble, and Usman Khawaja, the people's champion. He calls himself. Then you got Michael Neser came in, and that reaction of the boys when he took his first Test wicket was why I love, being a part of this team. So they're producing some heroes. Hopefully that'll inspire the young kids to want to play cricket for Australia. and that can only be a good thing.
At your hotel, are you looking forward to the contract just sliding under the door at some stage? Sign it and move on? Do you want that done and dusted? Come on, we want. When does it get done, JL? When are you speaking to the powers to be?
No, the absolute truth, Goss, and people don't seem to believe this, but the absolute truth is before the World Cup and the Ashes, we all committed to, at the end of the Ashes, to sit down and have some conversation. It's been 4 really big years, mate, and it's an all-encompassing job, and it's a tough gig. I'm not, that's just the truth. So we all just said that we'd sit down after the Ashes. So in the next little bit, I'm sure those conversations will start to be had, but there's plenty to be spoken about.
All right. Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for letting me hassle you to come to the phone and chat. I gave you a couple of days.
No worries.
I gave you a couple of days breathing space. What do you do on your own in Tassie while you're waiting for the New Zealand series, apart from go to breakfast with Tim Paine?
Well, yeah, I'm actually going to go and play some golf up at Barnbougle,
which
everyone's told me about is magnificent, so I'm going to go there. But the hardest thing is I just can't get back to Perth.
Yeah, I know.
All the boys have gone home. I can't get back to Perth until the 5th or at least the 5th of February. So having not seen my family since September, Goss, I'm counting the days to get home.
Yeah, I'll pull some strings, mate. I know the bloke. All right, I'll get onto it. Hey, good on you, legend. Congratulations. Thanks for taking the call.